Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. Today, we have another special guest with us. She's a professional poker player, a vlogger, a commentator. You might see her in Vegas. You might see her in Texas. You might see her at some other Run Good series. She goes by Pokerface Ash. Ash, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Hey, how are you doing
coming
today?
on?
Good. Just waking up for the day. Good old poker schedule. Sleeping in till whatever late.
It sounds a lot like Wes.
Yeah.
Wes aligns with that.
Here's the thing: is like Max and I usually record podcasts around noon, and
Ooh.
for him, like he works mornings and stuff. For me, it's like wake up at 11,
Yeah.
maybe really 11:40, and then
Yep.
get the oatmeal and then coffee and pretend like
I have
I've been
to
up
like
for
hit him up a
hours.
bunch to be like, dude, we're recording. Get in here, hurry up.
So have you been, just the poker schedule in general, what have you been up to in terms of playing recently?
Yeah, my volumes definitely went down. I've been trying to focus on quality over quantity lately and just really being intentional about when I play, what I play, and how I play versus just running myself into the ground playing a ton of hours. So I've been taking a little bit of a break, just not playing as much, but I've been doing some Run Good series and then just whatever's good going around, in the area. But for the most part, I just had been a little bit burnt out from a lot of travel and just making poker vlogs. So I've just taken a step back overall and just kind of been just taking a little bit slower these days.
I've always been so interested about poker players who vlog and just like first off, I know just editing audio is tough, but like editing video seems like it would be exhausting. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, it's like the rule of thumb is like for every minute of a vlog time is like an hour of editing time. So if
Really?
maybe less these days, but it's very, very time consuming. And luckily I have a great editor for the video stuff, but even just me doing the voiceover stuff, which I used to be an audio engineer and like a musician back in the day. So me doing
cool.
the audio, I actually enjoy that part.
Mhm.
So I'm very meticulous about like making sure the audio sounds good, but that alone still takes me several hours to do. So yeah, it's very time consuming.
When did you start playing poker full time?
Full time, I would say like about 5 to 6 years ago.
Pre-COVID?
Right around COVID time, actually. Like maybe, yeah, like I just kind of started to, and then COVID happened, and then I started like streaming a little bit online, and then I started my vlog, and then that kind of propelled me to like actually play more full time.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you think the vlog kind of pushed you forward on your career path as a poker player? It kind of helped motivate you to stay in the mix and get better?
Yeah, I think that did. I think that did a lot because, first of all, you have to face all of your horrendous mistakes and talk about them. And
That's a great point.
yeah, it's actually brutal sometimes because there's stuff I want to forget ever happened, but then not only do I have to go relive it and watch it back, I have to talk about it and then present it to an audience to be like, hey, don't ever do this thing, So yeah, it was very, very humbling process, but definitely made me better as a poker player, and then also forced me to get out and play, make vlogs. So
That's a great thought, though. Yeah, I love that you have to actually go through all of your hands. That's incredible.
yeah.
Do you find yourself sometimes like I'm sure there's some times where you made a mistake, and then there's some times where you're doing the voiceover and you're like explaining your play, and then as you're explaining it, you realize that what you're saying is leading you to the opposite play that you actually made, and you're like,
Yeah,
and then you
exactly.
kind of learn from that too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like I'll try to explain the thought process in why I did something, but then actually that led me to be like, oh wait, I actually should have checked there if this was my thought process, or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, no, it's been awesome. And then like I would like send hands over to my poker coaches because I wanted to make sure that it was very important to me, and it still is, to like give really good sound advice or at least just like articulate my thought process and why I did what I did in hopes that other people can learn from it. So I would always bounce these hands off of people just to make sure that I was not out in no man's land with how I was describing strategy or thought processes.
I think that's important too, because I know, people will look up to you and want to learn from you. And so you want to kind of guide them in the correct direction instead of just like,
yeah. I mean, well, before I started a vlog, all I did to learn poker was watch like Andrew Nemi, Jamin, Brad. So like that was my way of learning. So if I have all these people learning and trying to watch what I do, I hope I'm not leading them to being total fish. So
yeah,
that makes sense. I mean, I've never watched.
That's our goal too.
Yeah.
I've never watched Nemi's vlogs, but I've watched Brad's, and I mean, his cash game analysis I think is great. I'm not a cash game specialist by any means. Wes is more, but I mean, watching him play cash definitely makes me more confident in my cash game play, whether or not it's correct or not. But
yeah, heads up for as much as you want, buddy.
Yeah, here we go. Wes loves trying to take all my money in cash. So
I love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've watched a decent amount of Brad too, and I think he has very good analysis for like the live games he plays.
Yeah.
I remember watching him play a bunch of 5-10 at Bellagio, and yeah, I mean, I think he explains his thought process very well, and in a way that's also just entertaining for the people watching. Yeah, there's always both sides to it.
Yeah.
I was looking here at your Hendon mob, and I noticed like it was like your fourth cash ever. It was like 13K in a 250 Rio deep stack. Was that sort of did that sort of help you develop the passion, or had you like had the passion for a while and
that started my tournament bug, man. I didn't really play a lot of tournaments, and then that score, I mean, first of all, I was so new to poker, so that I felt like I was a millionaire, and I felt like I was the best poker player of all time to make that deep of a run. I'll never forget it. We played till about 5 in the morning, because it's a 1-day tournament,
and you had 5 big blinds because it's a super turbo.
Yeah, I'll just never forget that. It was such a like, I don't know, just a foundational moment of, I love tournaments now. It was the rush, everything, like 40K for first of all, I was like, had no money at the time. So that alone was just like mind boggling to me. That much money, that amount of money was like insane. And then to hold 13K in my hands after I won, I just felt like I was like the coolest thing ever. And no, that definitely helped spark my tournament journey, because before that I was really just primarily only playing like 1-2 cash. So
yeah, Wes and I both reflect on that a lot, and we both align with that a lot. Like I remember my first large cash was roughly around that same amount, and I it's the first time I ever had over 10K to my name, and I was just like, it literally, it lit a fire under me as well. I'm like, I can win a mountain of cash playing poker, and then I was quickly humbled. When
exactly.
Zero.
Exactly.
Wes, what was your first like 10K score?
I almost had a 6-figure before a 5-figure. So my biggest score had been like 4K, and then it was 77K.
Oh, for the MSPT.
Yeah. And I was chip leading 3-handed, but got third, which you just did in the exact same place.
Oh my God. So. This weekend I got third in the MSPT Riverside. I had half the chips in play and ended up landing third place, which was painful. I was telling Wes earlier, like I had a flow state where I was playing good. I was running good. And something happened. I don't know if I was getting tired or if I was over caffeinated or what, but something happened where I was mentally like the sharpness started to leave me, and I was starting to notice it. And I could just feel that affecting everything. And not only like my mindset, but it almost felt like it affected the way the cards came out.
It affects your flips. It affects your flips.
It doesn't logically make sense, but it felt that way. And it's just, it's so strange. It's the world we live in is crazy.
I mean, look, I'm very like science minded and stuff like that. I think there is something to energy and energy shifting, whether you call it vibrations, frequencies, whatever. There is something to it, and we can't yet like quantify it. Actually, Lucky Chewy talks a lot about this, and I'm fascinated because he's a brilliant poker player, a brilliant mind. And I mean, I could talk all day about this stuff, but like, you saying you kind of like felt you lost that like presentness that you were in that flow state, and then all of a sudden things just like weren't locked in anymore. And I don't know, there's something to it. And like, I don't want to say it like affected the way the dealer shuffled the cards and dealt them to you, but like also I think it kind of does in some weird way that we don't know yet. Like,
I mean, I completely agree that there's something to it, and especially saying that there's things in this universe that we just can't digest as humans with our little tiny peanut brains. We actually had Lucky Chewy on about a month and a half ago, and we talked about this in depth, and he is just such an incredible mind, and an incredible person too.
Yeah, I love that. He's one of my favorite people in poker for sure. But I was also three-handed chip leading for a ring about a couple weeks ago, and a guy just piled with queen four suited against my aces, and I lost that hand. And I would have had almost all the chips in play at that point.
Did that take you out of the zone?
I mean, yeah, I think I was left with like not that many big blinds, jammed, lost, and I was out, and I just felt like I was in the twilight zone. Like, what just happened? And he went on to win, thankfully. He was like this old man who like didn't give a crap, and he was just like
our favorite poker players.
We love them.
Oh man, I'm actually about to make a reel about that hand because I got it on film. The whole hand was like it was impressive.
Poker's so funny because it's like we can win a pile of cash but still feel so shitty right afterwards. It's
a brutal game. I tell people all the time, you have to love pain to play tournaments, man.
It's the truth. But there's just those. ETA gave us a golf analogy earlier about how poker's a lot like golf. I won't get into depth in that, but it's the same thing. Like we go back for that, when I play golf, I hit one good shot out of 10, but it's that one shot that just really keeps me coming back to the golf course and duffing all of them just for that one good one every once in a while.
So true.
So let me ask you, so your YouTube channel has nearly 40,000 subscribers. That's an incredible amount. I mean, that's a lot of subscribers. What do you struggle like being criticized or are you not struggle being criticized, but are you afraid of criticism when you create your content?
I used to be very sensitive to it to the point where I had hired like an assistant to part of his job was to go in and like and comment on all the comments because I just didn't want to see them because it was just not good for my mental health. Because I'm like I'm a very empathetic, like deep emotional, like people pleasing type person, so like to see someone that doesn't like me is like really hard. But now I have such a like hardness to it now, and it like kind of rolls off my back. The only ones that like kind of hurt or like sting a little are that like ones that are kind of true. like oh, she plays so tight or whatever, or like just things about my appearance or that are like kind of true, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that kind of hurt a little bit. But for the most part, I think, and I've talked about this a lot, it's like I feel like I've evolved a lot as a human from putting out poker vlogs because it forces you to like face those things and to become confident within yourself. And I also built a lot of confidence, and I am a very different person from when I first started my vlog. It did give me confidence, and it helped me, and also like really understand that when people like throw hate your way, it's about them and not you.
100%. That's exactly right. Like they're projecting most of the time. I mean, who goes 100%. Onto a video and starts talking about someone's appearance? Like I'm there for the entertainment and to learn, not to judge. The person.
and I'm able to like really see jealousy from like smell it a mile away now, and I get it from a lot of men and also some women too. And it's just sad that people end up in that state in their own lives to want to like spew hate towards you for no reason other than that they're miserable people. But so to answer your question, I mean, it's actually a lot easier now than it was, and I'm thankful that I can even say that because it was hard at first. And plus, I didn't feel qualified at all to sit and talk about poker. I barely knew what I was doing, and still to this day, I joke that like I don't know what I'm doing, but like
none of us do.
Yeah, none of us do. But that's also the beauty of it too. So.
It really is. And as a woman, I've been at a poker table many times where guys will they'll just think they have to give a woman tips or like
mansplaining,
try and educate them on how to play poker. And it's like, dude, first off, you do not need to be the one educating.
And here's the funny thing is, if there's a guy you're playing poker with whose advice you want, let's say you're playing with Alex Fox and then you're like, his opinion I'm curious about, he's smart enough to not he doesn't want to improve his opponent's game at the table. Like he's
Yeah,
not
that's a
going to
great
actually.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so the ones spewing the info are the ones, like you said, that should not be giving poker advice.
Yeah, and then when you're, in terms of the vlog and the comments and stuff, it's like, and we actually mentioned this when we were talking about live streams with Ite earlier. It's like, first off, people in the chat, even if they're not like nasty, they're still always going to be very results oriented.
Yeah.
So they're going to, you know, to a fault, if you have a losing session, it's going to be how they would have gotten. I mean, this was in a live tournament recently, but it was a tag team tournament. I remember this guy busted queens versus aces, 25 big blinds pre-flop. It was like two limps, aces raised big and queens jammed. And the guy's partner's like, well, why can't you just call there and then see a flop? And I'm like, dude, like you're so people are just like that, and they want to feel like they have like their input is somehow what
Valuable.
you needed or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And it just, yeah, it's just weird and cringy. And it is too bad when people come across like nasty about it.
I mean,
But
people I felt really bad for. There's a gentleman I was playing with this weekend where he played a hand. He ended up flatting kings to a 3-bet pre, which I in this spot I didn't even think it was terrible. He did it because I could tell he did it because he thought, he wanted to avoid an ace coming on the flop.
make
It
sure
doesn't
that
matter.
he like
Right,
donk jam.
right.
Yeah, but I was like, this is
Yeah.
actually a great trap spot too, right? But
Yeah.
but after the hand was over, the guy started getting on him and just like, oh, you shouldn't play that hand that way. And he's like, and the old guy responded, I'm coached by Darren Elias and Nikki Petrangelo. And I was like, good for you for standing up for yourself. And also I felt bad that he had to get defensive from some guy. I don't know. It's just that stuff is not, if to anyone listening, please don't berate other players. Like especially if you want to consider yourself a professional. I think that's like the number one thing that you don't want, for multiple reasons. Not only because it's just like in a human form, like it's not good to do that. You don't want to make people feel bad. But secondly, like you don't on the gambling, on the professional side, I don't want to scare away the fish either. You want them to come back and enjoy
Right.
playing. So
And to take that point even further, and this is kind of what I say a lot of the time to that, is like we are a community, whether we choose to be or not, and we are a self-governed community. And I think it's really important, even just touching on like men and women in poker and how that sometimes goes, is I would love to see like the people, the men in the community, or the people like stand up for or like speak out and be like, hey, like you shouldn't do that, because like no one else is going to do that. And think about how impactful it is if one of your peers tells you, hey, like shut the f up, you shouldn't have said that, versus like me defending myself, like, hey, like why are you coming at me like that, you what. But like if your bro at the table is like, hey, that's not cool, man, don't do that, that's going to stick way harder than it is me like sticking up for myself. So not that I need other people to stick up for me, but I think as if we set a better standard in like setting a bar for how we should talk to people or not talk to people at the table, I think that's way more impactful than like a dealer or a floor or the person being berated
Right.
would say anything. Like
nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it. Like and a lot of these people are there just for entertainment. They're not there to try and make a living too. And so let them, let them enjoy their time. We're not they don't put in, I mean, they might not put in the time and effort to be a high quality studied poker player. So it's like, you don't need to try and make them feel bad for not being that person. So,
yeah
Yeah. And unfortunately, the last thing is like in the poker world, I think gambling in general, you do come across a lot of people who feel like luck is against them in the world,
yeah
um, which is not, not a winning mindset for poker, or I think any area of life really.
as we've
yeah
mentioned in our recent episodes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Anyways, though, I was going to ask you, Ash, like, what do you do to improve your poker game these days? I know you had talked about watching these vloggers back in the day. Has that
yeah
changed at all?
Yeah, I don't watch any vlogs anymore ever. I'll
Mhm.
check in occasionally because I'm friends with Nimi and Jamin, so I'll just check in to like support and be like, hey, like nice vlog or whatever. But No, don't watch a single. I don't even watch poker anymore, which is probably not great. Like, there's just so many live streams and I'm just busy doing my own stuff where I just don't watch that much. But so what I do is I have like a one-on-one coach, a couple guys that like, I also talk hands with some of my peers who are really, really good players. And yeah, analyzing hands and then using stuff like GTO Wizard to really just understand fundamentals as much as I can, and stack depth stuff on, baseline, range stuff on GTO Wizard. And then, yeah, so just talking hands with players that are better than me, my friends, and then a couple guys who like coach me one-on-one. That's pretty much what I do these days.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Do you, go ahead, Wes.
Go ahead, Max. Go ahead.
No, please, after you, sir.
I was just going to ask about GTO Wizard. Like, is it more for tournaments? Do you do tournaments and cash?
That's literally what I was going to ask.
Oh, that's so funny. No, I'm just totally out of cash. Totally. Like, I don't even study it anymore at all. I feel so rusty. Even when I play on live streams, which I'll still play on live streams because they make really fun vlogs, and they're very easy to edit. Secretly, that's kind of why I play them. But just tournaments, and yeah, I just you do a lot of like, and I also just started teaching poker to like one-on-one. I have a couple students now, and I'm just teaching beginner to intermediate stuff. I'm not someone who's claiming to be some like mastermind, but I am very comfortable teaching fundamentals and how to think about the game and stuff. And in that, we study a lot. Like, we look at like GTO Wizard charts and stuff, but then immediately, okay, but this is what this says. But then, like, who are we playing against and how do we exploit them, right? So we have to take those hand in hand.
Especially in these fields, that lower buy-in fields where exploiting is probably the most important. We don't need to sit there and memorize charts to play in low and mid-stake buy-ins. So
if anything, we have to throw it all out the window most of the time, right? Which has been a process for me in my studying and poker journey. Is like, I got really, really bad at poker because I was like, well, no, I'm playing how the solver plays, and like, what are these guys doing raising to 5x pre? Like, what a freaking donkey. But then I'm like, oh, like, we can exploitatively raise bigger here. Like, just
they're sticky.
Throw it out the window. Yeah, like I was having horrible results because I didn't understand back when I first started studying GTO that like, that's assuming you're playing against perfect players, which obviously we're playing against the complete opposite of that. So that was also kind of a process to like revamp my game a little bit, because when I first started, I was purely exploiting and going off feel and gut and intuition. And so now I actually just did a article for Card Player Magazine they're about to put out of like what I've really been going back to and studying, and I'm like going full back on the pendulum, swinging way back to like exploit, gut, feeling, intuition. I know like fundamentals now, but if I feel like I can get this guy to fold, doesn't matter what my cards are, like that sort of full exploit mode. So
yeah, I think having a good GTO foundation can help you find exploits, though, if that makes sense, or at least give us a baseline to know how to deviate from. Go ahead.
The way I would phrase it is like, it's not so much about looking at GTO. It's like, look at what your opponent's response is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then, so if we 3-bet here, what does the solver call, fold, 4-bet?
Yeah.
And what do we realistically expect our average live opponent to do?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, they're actually calling way too wide. Well, we should 3-bet more linear instead of polar, or just size up with value, stuff like that. So I think it's a great tool for baseline and for figuring out ways to exploit. But I do think I think a lot of people will relate to what you said, in that you if you're trying to lock in on it too much, you're almost exploiting. You're putting yourself in a little box where you can't branch out.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Ash, when you're coaching, or you're starting to coach now some students, what are kind of some ways, and I'm curious to this in general, because, I have people come to me and ask me for a lot of questions, especially since we started this podcast. I mean, it's a strategy-based podcast, and I have a lot of people coming to me, asking me questions on how I can help their game. What are some things that you might ask a player or a newer player to help them figure out to where to start to get on the right path?
Yeah, I ask them what their goal is. Like, where do you want to be, and why, and what stakes do you want to play, or what like tournament buy-in level are you trying to get to? But then, like, it's actually really interesting, the answers I've gotten to that, and all of them lead me back to, okay, we got to start at the very beginning here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't help you get to this if we don't have all of this down here, right?
Yeah.
So I asked them what their goal is, how confident do they feel in their poker game, what do they feel like their strengths are, their weaknesses. I send them about 20 questions, just like an intake form, to really understand, like, first of all, where they're at in their poker journey, and how, so
important to know. Yeah, if you want to teach them specifically. Yeah.
and then kind of what their goals are. And I haven't had a student yet to where we haven't just started at the beginning and worked our way up to wherever they want to be.
That makes sense. And Wes and I really iterate to new players who are actually starting at the base. The first steps into the mix is like learn pre-flop. You don't have to sit there and memorize charts, but
No.
just take a second, look over some. First you can watch Brad Owen, or you can go to the what is it, the Poker Stars GG Millions, or GG Millions is different. Anyways, the GG Millions live stream where you see their hole cards face up or whatever, and just watch what people are doing pre-flop. Don't try and get lost with flop, turn and river stuff yet, because it gets convoluted and you're going to get overwhelmed. So start with the baseline, start with pre-flop, figure out which hands you can be opening on what stack depths from what positions, and go from there. Once you have that solid, you can move to flops, etc. But
yeah, and I would even say, like, in terms of charts, if there's one thing I would recommend people to look at charts for, it's pre-flop, because like the farther into a hand you get, the more people's tendencies make them deviate. Like, if you want to play, not that you have to memorize charts, but just have an idea, and like that's where you should kind of aim for something close to theoretical.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I definitely do not sit there and open up GTO Wizard and practice pre-flop by any means.
And yet you are surprisingly close.
I know, right? But you know what that came from? It came from running hands by you. It came from watching my favorite players play online, and from doing all this stuff. It just kind of leaks into your game. And if you're on, and one thing that, like you said, Ash, when you're doing your videos, like you go through your hands, and then all of a sudden you got to be honest with yourself. You have to run it back. And I think that's the most important too, is just being honest with yourself. And if you make a mistake, you learn from it and move forward to the next hand.
Yeah, I love to give my students kind of like a baseline of kind of how to approach opening a hand and why we would or would not open a certain hand, so then they can just think for themselves. And then, like, look, ace 10 offsuit under the gun, whatever, middling stack in a tournament. Sometimes if the table's playing super crazy, 3-betting, multiple callers pre, like, that one's going into the muck. But like,
I like that.
If the table's playing super tight and passive, and you can get heads up with the big blind a lot and just take a pot down post flop, then we're absolutely opening that hand. So it's like, here's the why, and like what hands are good candidates to open or not open, and then just have them think for themselves based on like who they're playing against.
That's a great observation. Really we don't want to always just figure out what we should be opening pre-flop, because that'll change based on how we perceive our opponents. And like you said, if we have a tight table, like we can open that hand without fear of being 3-bet and having to just fold it. Because obviously, if you open under the gun with ace 10 on a middling stack and you get 3-bet from any position, we want to let that go. First off, their 3-bet range needs to be tighter, because we're under the gun. Like, they have to assume that we're tighter. So
exactly.
I'm curious, what are some of you said 20 questions. What are some of the questions that you asked to gauge where people are at?
Let's see. So I start out by asking them, like, what do they play? What stakes? What are their any results they have, or like their hourly win rate, or just try to get as much information. What's their confidence level in poker right now? Like, what's their goal? Where do they want to get to? And what's like your biggest weakness in poker? What's your biggest strength? And then going into where do you want to get with your game, and then like what's one thing you really feel like you need to work on, and then what's one thing you think you're really like, just stuff like that.
I cannot coach. I mean, I can coach, but I don't. Wes does coach. I mean, he does all that, but there's just It's tough. Being a coach is tough, and especially, I mean, people can kind of fake their way through it, but I think if you really want to improve someone's game, you really got to dial into them. And as they say in Sharks Shark Tank, for that reason, I'm out.
Yeah, I love coaching, teaching. It's always been a part of my life. Like I played basketball throughout my whole life and then went on to coach college basketball. So I've always been like someone who loves investing in others in that way. And also just really rewarding to feel like you're helping somebody. Like the students I've picked up, like they've been playing poker for longer than I have, but they're just stuck in the same way of thinking that's just been never really tried to improve or get better. And another student who's like fairly new to the game, and so I'm just able to like give them new things and teach them things they didn't even think of before, and they're really happy with like, oh hey, I'm learning a lot, thank you. And that's like, I love it. I love coaching
Yeah.
and teaching.
I think Wes aligns with that a lot. Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
awesome feeling. Yeah. Are there certain things, certain similar mindset traps that you find amongst this sort of type of player that you coach?
Yeah, I think focusing on their exact hand way too much is something. And then just this, they don't realize it maybe, but just this sense of entitlement to like, well, I had aces, I should win the hand,
Mhm.
when it's like, well, in reality, you flip, you're all in with eights versus aces all in pre and you run it 100 times. Well, just remember you're losing like 20 times out of 100. That's a lot. So like,
Yeah.
you can't just like assume you're going to win a hand just because, and then just like trying to get them to stop thinking like, okay, well, I have aces and the flop is 5 6 7. Like we're not going to pile money on this board texture with one pair, and here's why. And then understanding, okay, well, this time in this hand on 5 6 7 I have aces. Well, there's way better hands in our range that connect with this board versus
Mhm.
okay, we have aces and we should just win this hand and pile 100 big blinds in with one pair, and it kind of like trying to shift their thinking. But like I see that a lot. Or like I'm gonna raise 5x with aces under the gun or with kings because I don't want an
Yep.
ace to come out,
Yes.
right? And it's like, but wait, we're getting all worse hands to fold and we're not getting value from all worse hands, right? So just trying to get them to like get out of that, oh, I have aces and kings type mentality. It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that sort of mentality of
Yeah.
I started with this great hand. If I don't win the pot, it's a failure. And so
Yeah.
sort of playing it in a way where it's like almost guaranteeing you win, but getting no value or
Yeah.
just
It's
like
and just
ignoring the run out.
I think also just thinking about poker in like an infinite hand type of mindset. It's like, look, we might lose this one, or we might have to check fold kings on an ace high board 4 ways, and we hate it because there was a bet and a raise, and we just hate everything. But like we have to think about this like in a vacuum, right? And we have to think about this from a grander perspective. And once we do that, and we get our ego and our pride and our emotions out of the way, and we really go back down to like what poker is, a zero sum game, the more
Mhm.
understanding we have of that and the theoretical stuff is makes those times, in my opinion and in my experience, way easier. Like I don't care anymore. Like queen four of spades versus ace of spades, ace of diamonds, and I lose all in pre for piles. Okay,
You
that's
got
one
it
of
in as
that's
good. You got it in good. Like that's what you get.
okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did it suck? Did it suck that I like could taste the ring and see it on my finger? Yeah, but like we can't control that stuff, so we have to like release control. And what the good part is, and what I like to tell them is, hey, we put ourselves in the position to win this tournament, like, and we can't control how the 5 cards roll out, but I got myself there, and that's all we can do is show up and try to make the best decisions possible.
Do you
Well
think that
said.
people often find it challenging to accept that there's only so much they control about poker?
Yeah. And I think we reach and claw for more control than we actually have in this game. And also with our finite minds, like we can't know what our opponent has. We can make our best guesses and we can try our hardest, but in reality, like there's just so much missing information. And I think we try really hard just because in as humans in general, we grasp for control in every aspect of life, I think, whether we want to admit it or not. Like because
Mhm.
yeah, just like, and from a psychology standpoint, it's very interesting. So yeah, I absolutely do think that.
Well
Yeah,
said.
I think about that. I mean, I know Max and I have talked about that stuff a lot where
A
you
lot.
see
Yeah.
these like bias, like confirmation bias, or whether it's that or the opposite. Like, someone makes a call, they lose the pot, and then they say, "Oh, I put you on this hand."
Yeah.
And they just pick a hand that they were ahead of, even if it makes no sense
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Confirmation bias is a huge thing in poker. It's like, if I get it in with aces versus ace king, and I stand up and put the backpack on when I have the aces, and then two kings roll out. It's like, well, see, told you I was going to win, or I was going to lose. Like, like it's just confirmation bias over and over, because like we have to feed our egos and feel like we're smart, or we knew everything that was going to happen, so we have to shred that and shed that a little bit as poker players.
Totally. Yeah, if you want to be a winning player, for sure. Man, Max, I'm going to make a golf reference, which I don't play golf.
You don't even golf.
I don't really either, but I kind of like golf. It's fun.
But I've golfed a few times, but I've also been to the driving range or like Top Golf. And here's the beautiful thing. When you go to a driving range, you can hit the ball 60 times, and there are only a few times where you just drive it straight down the middle, but you remember those times. Whereas in a golf game, you have to look at your actual score, and it'll reflect your overall performance. In poker, I think because everyone will sometimes win, everyone is able to remember those times where they feel like they made a really smart play,
Yeah. And we never forget the bad beats and the times where we should have won. Like our brains are so funny like that.
Poker is such a great way to grow as a person.
It is.
If you can really strip back your ego and take the hits in the face and just look at what you did wrong again. And I think one thing you brought up that I think is the most important is not getting angry at things that are out of our control, which is most of poker.
Yeah. I've done a lot of like group coaching sessions with women specifically, which has actually been awesome. Like I actually prefer to teach women. I have a passion for like seeing the game grow and like wanting women to get better at poker and all this stuff. And we did like a whole couple sessions on just strictly mindset, and there's just so much to be talked about in that sense. So
yeah, I think mindset is just far overlooked, and especially in relation to just like actual card strategy, right? Like, I mean, a lot of my success comes from patience and not losing myself in the moment and being able to let go of bad beats. Again, those are skills that I've developed over time from taking them on the chin over and over. And now as someone who's done this for over a decade, it's like, I can take these bad beats and be like, it's black and white. Like I look at it completely different now. Instead of being upset over the moment, I go, yeah, like I got it in as good as I could have got it there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
doesn't, or just wrong again. There's still a couple of times where I'm like, I'm still human. I'm not perfect. And on the way home might give the horn a honk or two.
Of course, like I talk about that all the time.
Hate him when he's driving.
I talk about all the time. Like, look, don't diminish the fact that you're a human. Like, don't sit there and try to be a robot. Like, yes, I'm gonna be freaking mad that I just lost this hand. I got this guy to pile in this many big blinds because I knew this was gonna be his tendency, and I did this, and the plan worked perfectly. I actually flatted aces to a 3-bet with like in the 6th spot, which made me chip leader in this tournament, where I told you I was 3-handed for the ring. Like, I mean, just in my mind, I'm like putting on a masterclass, like I'm like a genius, right? And so anyway, the plan just goes perfectly, and then I lose the hand, and I just felt so entitled, like, no, like I mapped this out exactly how I wanted it to go. It played out exactly how I wanted it to play out, and then I lose the hand. Oh my gosh, I was so upset. I was mad, but I can't all of a sudden just become a robot. Like gonna feel the feelings, but I tell everybody, feel them, acknowledge why you're having them, and then take a breath and realize, okay, couldn't control that, and try to move forward. Because what's happening if we sit there? How many times do you just see a guy steaming and like he can't let a hand go, and he's just sitting there for like several orbits, and he's just steaming, right?
Or I mean, the next 2 weeks later, they're talking about their bust out hand from
exactly.
other tournament.
Yeah, and like so this guy spent 2 orbits steaming about this bad beat or this hand where he just got sucked out on the river. Like, think about how many things he missed in those 2 orbits of information he could have been gathering for the next hand and the next hand that he missed out on, or she, because they were like not present anymore. Like, once you go there in your mind, you are not present. You are gone. and you are missing out on so much information, vital tendencies your opponents might have shown you that you just weren't paying attention to because you just took yourself away from being present by like festering. So then you're therefore minimizing your loss or your wins. You're actually, you know, prohibiting yourself to like make more money or win more chips or big blinds or whatever the case may be. So it's like, even if we think about it from that standpoint, is like, we need to move on so we can continue to make the best decisions possible moving forward. So
It's exactly right. And
Well,
again, you know, you can't just do that. It's something that takes progress and a lot of work. But if you
Yeah.
if every time that it happens to you and you catch yourself being, you know, tilted and you're at the table and you're missing out on action, like if you can take a deep breath and like it is exactly as you said, take a deep breath and recognize it and move forward. And the more you do that, the quicker you recover from it every time.
exactly.
Yeah, so much more money has been lost due to the reaction of your bad beats than the actual bad beats.
Exactly.
Very well said. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
I have a
Max
yeah.
also called. Oh, we were just laughing. If you're wondering, Max has called me a robot hundreds of times. So that's kind of
So Wes is the robot of the squad for sure. And you
Okay,
know,
okay.
I kind of it's evolving, Wes. You know, Wes and we've been friends for about 3 years now, something around there. We started the podcast 2 years ago. We went on a poker trip. He's like, I'm going here. I'm like, I'm going here too. Let's go together. So we became friends and we did it. And I saw him, you know, I view him far differently now. But for the first couple of years, I just thought he was kind of like a GTO robot with no emotions.
Yeah.
But
I
but
internalized
but I
stuff.
also, I mean, you kind of were, and I also think you've evolved a little bit
I
too.
agree. I mean, yeah, like I think there's truth. There was some truth to it,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's a lot to be said about that. I have a lot of funny thoughts in my head right now, but a lot of them I don't want to share on the pod. Just
maybe it could be a Patreon discussion.
Maybe that might be good. We'll make people pay for our what we do when we're tilted.
Yeah.
Just kidding, just kidding. But Ash, I was going to ask you. You sit down at a poker table, right? As a vlogger, as a poker professional. And actually, before I ask the question, I'll preface this. I was playing the Fall Poker Classic main event at Canterbury, which is one of our local casinos, a few weeks back. And there's a Minnesota vlogger named Sethi Poker. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I know Sethi. Yeah. We played together and live streams and stuff. And yeah.
Okay, so he sits down at my table and he pulls out, you know, he has his phone where he sits on the table, starts recording hands, stuff like that. And it almost seemed like immediately he was kind of putting a target on his back. And people were trying to, I saw people were like trying to bluff him to make the vlog and doing things like that. Have you noticed, am I misinterpreting this? Have you noticed that happening in your experience? And maybe do you ever try and exploit that or recognize that as you're on a river decision, like they could be bluffing a slightly higher percentage because they know it might be I mean, is that something you think about?
Yes, and yes, it does happen. And yes, I do try to exploit it. People will get in there with crazy hands just because they want to, if I open and they have Jack 3 offsuit on the button or something, they're gonna call with it because, well, here's my chance to get on her vlog or whatever. So they'll do stuff like that, and then also definitely try and bluff me. I actually had a hand on my vlog. I did when I did a meetup game with Jamin just a few weeks ago at National Harbor, where this guy took an interesting line with a top pair on an ace high board, and he I don't remember the exact hand history right now, but anyway, he bet the river, and it's I had a great bluff catcher, and I actually thought, okay, is he just trying to pull one here, or is my hand
Was
just
this?
full?
Did you have Queen 10? I was
Yeah.
actually I checked out a couple of your vlogs.
Oh yeah.
The last couple of days. Yeah.
That did cross my mind. But then I ended up folding, and he had ace king or something, he said, which he actually just flopped super top of range. And so there's been times where I've won massive pots, and I've also been bluffed off a lot of really good hands. So and I, I don't know. I am a female, so I'm perceived to be tight, which I joke all the time. Great, please keep thinking that, because I'll continue getting away with murder. And taking spots where you guys just think I'm bluffing.
We were talking with Ite about that today, because we're friends with Angela Jordison. I'm not sure if
I love Angela. She's one of my favorite people. I actually
Absolute
just hung out with her in Chicago. Yeah, she's insane. She's ridiculous.
She's a monster.
She's a
and in the best way possible. She's terrified to play with. But
Yeah.
but her demeanor at the table does not seem like someone you should be terrified of. You know, she like almost she allows everything to happen around her, and
then
just
she
kind
exploits the shit out of it. And
yeah, but she doesn't show the bluff. She never lets anyone onto her. Like you and I know, but
yeah,
you know.
No, I tried. I played in the ladies bracelet event this last summer with her, or maybe I can't remember. Anyway, we were at the same table and like didn't love that right off the bat because like we're both like going to play like exploitative stuff where like I don't want to battle with her. I'm trying to like get 3-bet and get heads up with like a lot, you know, these other players, not her. But anyway, I ended up like making this crazy call with king high out of position on like a crazy board, and I was correct, and I was like just joked around with her like, hey, I did that to try and impress you. And then she's like, oh, I actually wasn't even watching, I didn't see that. And I was like, I actually made a tweet. I made a tweet about it. So now we actually became like pretty good friends like after that. And anyway, I have mad respect for her. She's an incredible player and tournament crusher. And yeah, anyway, made a king high hero call on the river to try and impress her.
Those feel so good. Oh man, I love the non-paired king, like, you know, or the non-paired, you know, bluff catchers on the river where you just melt their face.
Yeah.
And if you're on the other end of it and you're the one bluffing and you get called by king high, you're like, oh shit, that was working against 0% of their hands. Like that was never gonna work.
Like I was trying to get, you know,
I was trying to get third pair to fold.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And by the way, like, yeah, and I know we can't speak highly enough of Angela because she's I just look up to her. She's an absolute crusher.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, she used to not even really be a tournament player too. Like she crushes PLO cash.
PLO cash, yeah.
I think that's what, you know, I've learned that a lot of PLO cash game players turn into incredible tournament players.
And I say that a lot.
Their unbridled aggression, I feel like.
Yeah, that and finding like ways to just like bluff and take spots. And I say this all the time that I think like the really, really good deep stack cash game players, if they put the passion in, can make incredible tournament players, or they do make incredible. And I've seen several of them, including my friend Josh, who ended up getting, I think, 4th in the main event, the WSOP main, was just a 10-25 like cash game grinder, super aggressive, had a very like very, very 3-bet or fold heavy type strategy that he just applied into like tournament and ended up just, I think, yeah. And now this summer he won, I think, 3 bracelets.
What?
They were online, like the ones where you play online and then go play the final table live.
Yeah.
I think he won 3 bracelets for sure, 2, but maybe 3. Anyway, total deep stack cash game player turned poker crusher. Like, so I mean, I agree with you. I think like those players make incredible poker tournament players.
Well, I'll say from playing online, like I think a lot of the cash players will do well enough in tournaments. They might make some ICM mistakes, but that's kind of it. But then if a tournament player comes over to cash, everyone's like licking their lips.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
When I sit down on an online cash game table and it just fills up immediately, I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So true.
That's why I play low stakes cash, like 50 no limit on clubs poker mostly, because it's the only place where it's soft enough for me to actually win playing
for
cash.
sure. I mean, those are tough. Those are really tough.
Yeah, and yeah, I also just strictly don't enjoy cash as much as I do poker tournaments. I'm passionate about tournaments. I love.
Yay! I love to hear that because like everyone's like, "What the heck? Like, why do you play tournaments?" And I love them, and I don't even I will go as far to say is like I don't even enjoy cash anymore. Like I can't do it.
I've kind of gotten to that point as well, honestly. But I will say there is a part of me that's envious as well of the people who do love it. And for example, Wes, like I know I have a lot of close friends and a lot of professionals that we've had on this podcast that are friends as well that they're able to really keep their bankroll in a great place because of being able to play cash in between these events.
Great point. I should play cash is what I say a lot. Like I should be replenishing the tournament buying bankroll
Right. And not only does it replenish the tournament bankroll, but it's because you win at a more frequent rate, it will help with your confidence, I think, as well.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, like, as someone who's a full-time player, that's kind of my idea with it. Like, Ash, I'm sure you have your vlogging and stuff. Like, you probably are not relying solely on winning tournaments and stuff to fund everything at once.
No, and
So,
I
like,
just recently signed with BetMGM as one of their ambassadors, and so
nice.
I've been kind of saying this lately. Like I feel a bit like a little bit of a fraud. Like I'm not playing full time really, and I don't know if I ever would go back to playing full time because it's very stressful, especially with tournaments. It's really hard to be above break even, and then tackling on Ubers and food and travel, and oh my gosh, it's just almost impossible unless you have supplemental income, which I've been very, 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 very fortunate to have. So that's the reality of it. For
you and
me.
me are in the same boat. Wes is one of the most disciplined people I've ever met, and so for him it works, right?
Yeah, you have to be.
I mean, he's got a very
also maybe I just had a couple sun runs at the right time. Like
no, you did for sure, but no, I mean, for example, he's on a 10K to 100K bankroll challenge. And
right, yeah, I think I saw that.
And he's currently at 60 something thousand. But it's
we
not
had a
like
little downswing. It's like 55. But
okay,
thank you. Yeah,
it goes up and down. You had it up to 60. But anyways, my point is like I wouldn't be able to do it strictly because of the discipline of bankroll management on there. You're sticking to these strict guidelines where I might just take some shot taking, as they say. I might do that a little too frequently, just here and there, but that might kill the challenge alone. Or the sole fact that you've put in 500 plus hours into streaming it all, like that is an exhaust in itself. Like I wouldn't, yeah.
That's crazy.
And so for me, I also have supplemental income. I have 2 other jobs I work, and don't get me wrong, poker's my passion, but variety for me is the spice. So I gotta
for sure. Yeah.
Well, and tournaments have that upside of not just financial upside, but that end goal insight. Where with cash, it's like, sure, you can almost be more passionate about like learning how to play cash well, but the actual playing of it, it's like whether you play 2 hours or 10 hours, it's just the same thing, and it can
I
feel
think that also
Mm-hmm.
that mundaneness or that however you want to word it, I think that also is boring to me. Where in tournaments, the constant stack variation depth, the depths where I have to constantly change my strategy. And in cash games, that's not the case. We're always topping off.
Exactly. And that's what I say. It's like in a tournament, you're playing for an end goal of winning the tournament. And then also, if you do not find a way to chip up, you will be blinded out of the tournament. So you have to do something at some point in the tournament. Like you can't just blind out. So that part's also very exciting to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. There's so many dynamics that make tournaments completely different from cash. And
I feel like tournaments are so much harder to master because with ICM, with stack depth differences, with late reg, final table play, like all this stuff, there's just so many elements of it where you realistically are never going to have someone who really, I don't know. Someone said this. I think it might have been Fader Holtz, but he said if the best computer in the world is 100 at poker, scale of 1 to 100, the top pros are maybe in the 40s. Like there's so much room to get better that humans
we'll
just
never
can't
probably
really
even be able to achieve
it.
that though, because we're limited by our cognitive functioning.
Yeah. And that's why I love tournaments too, and strategy and studying. And I'm like really passionate about it and find it fascinating. It's because we'll always be learning something new and getting better and improving. There's no end to that in this finite life that we live. We will never, like you said, achieve 100 ever.
Yeah.
Not even close. Not even close. Like I'm at like a 5 if we're on that scale. You know what I mean? Like
I'm sure you're at least double digits, but
maybe like an 11.
Wes, what are you?
I don't want to come across as cocky, nor do I want to give myself single digits. So
yeah, he'd be like 120.
I was gonna ask, do you have any like standout memories for poker. And I will say, I think the first time I became aware of who you were was I saw on Twitter, you had was it a day 4 run in the monster stack?
Yeah,
Cashed for like 50 something thousand.
I got 15 people away from a bracelet in the millie.
That's
Yeah.
such a sick run. I
$1,000,000
loved
would
it.
be sweet.
I've told Wes this, and I've told the podcast this over all the. I've done well over 100 episodes, and it's like I've said this so many times. The Monster Stack is top 3 tournaments of the year.
Oh, yeah, love it. It's one of my favorites. And then this last summer I got 19th in a bracelet event too.
I saw that, the summer celebration.
Super insanely shallow structure. Like I think average stack was 15 bigs with 2 tables left. Like that's freaking insane. Like what the heck? Like, and we were playing for $500,000, I think.
Can you or to Wes's question, can you remember any cool memories from those runs or any hands that might have been interesting?
Yeah. The Monster Stack day 4 run. We're on day 4. I started one of the shortest, ended up chip leader with like 3 tables left. Was terrified. Deepest run ever. Like I didn't
lot of money up top.
Yeah, I didn't feel at all like I belonged there in that sense. I was like, oh, like, yeah, I'll be lucky to get as far as I get. Whereas now I'm like, no, give me that freaking bracelet. Like, like in the sense of like feeling confident and feeling like, no, I'm meant to be here. Right. Like,
Yep.
So back then, 3 years ago in this run, I had Joe Cata to my left for like 4 hours. And that was so like, there was a time where like, I think I had queen jack of clubs on the button and I didn't know what to do because if I raise, he's going to jam. If I fold, I'm a nit. And this is insane to ever fold queen jack of clubs when it folds to me on the button. I can't jam. So like, I didn't know what to do. I literally didn't know what to do. It's sure enough, I limp because like, I'm just lost. I'm lost. Small blind limps. And then Joe just like pushes in his like most of his chips. And I'm like, this guy just has like ace deuce off here or something. And I just like, I didn't know what to do. I felt like a fish out of water. And yeah, obviously I fold. But he was like short stack most of the day. He actually ended up making it to the final table and running pretty deep. And then there was this weird spot where under the gun 1 raises, we're down to 2 tables, 16 people left. And under the gun 1, he actually had 1 big blind. Very next hand, he loses a massive all in, is down to 1 big blind, gets dealt aces under the gun, triples, ends up winning the tournament for 1.1 million. He's actually the guy who then just got, I believe, 3rd in the main event this last year. Anyway, insane runs. But so now he's chipped up and I'm the shortest in the tournament and he raises under the gun. And I have king queen of diamonds in the big blind with 6. So I have 4 big blinds behind at this point after putting in my 2 big blinds. So I had 6 and now I have 4 behind and I have king queen of diamonds. Of course, like significant ICM stuff now here, like 16 left. I believe we're like on or like 1 off of a pay jump at this point. And so I don't know, guys, what would you do in that spot? Like, so he raises under the gun, we're 8 and 8. So under the gun, 8, whatever. And I'm in the big with 4 bigs behind and king, queen of diamonds. And he raises 2 bigs. So I have to call 1 big blind.
You know what my initial thought was here, and whether this is correct or not, but I thought being that we're on a pay jump, which is probably a significant pay.
It was like 30K at this point.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, first 20K. Off, no matter what, I plan on getting it in because I'm not giving up at this point, but I'm not saying jam it here. I think this would be a really cool spot to, and forgive me for being that guy, but I really would like to see like a stop and go spot here where you tank as long as you can pre-flop, call, and then you have how many? So you'd have how many blinds behind 4 bigs or something? Or
I would have 3 behind.
You'd have 3 more,
and then bet like 3.5 big, and then stop and go essentially. Tank again, bet 3.5, let him decide if he wants to fold or not. Because I mean, he's not. Here's the thing: is if you were to just jam it pre, you have no fold equity, so he's just going to see it. But I think there's a little bit more of a universe where he might end up folding on the flop if he complete airballs it. So you might actually somehow you have more chance of getting a fold post flop than pre flop, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Yeah.
And then you
Wes?
can also time bank as much as possible to try and get that pay jump at the same time.
That
Yeah.
is true. It's a little tougher when there's only one other table, but,
Yep. Yep.
True.
that's what 'cause I don't know. These are such weird spots because you can call so wide and just try and flop something
Yep.
when you're this short because you don't
Yep.
have
Which
reverse
I'm gonna
implied odds.
do a lot. Like I'm gonna be
Yeah.
peeling here. I have a very good hand, obviously here, but like I'm gonna peel and just hope to flop anything and get it in. Yeah, but
Yeah, and, like, I would probably just call because there's also a world king, queen of diamonds, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
Becomes like ace
we
five
get
deuce all black.
yeah, ace 5 deuce all
now I
spade,
have a whole
especially
other orbit to like
yeah.
if
Try
I
and make
whiff.
that pay jump. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, years later, I totally would have peeled there, with the intention of probably not folding. So, but I did jam pre because like I just thought, oh, I have king, queen of diamonds. I'm gonna get it in here.
It's still like a
I mean,
good
and you can
hand.
also just get it in good here a lot,
Yeah, yeah. And so he actually had pocket eights.
Mhm.
And so we became friends after this. And I asked him one day, because this hand haunted me obviously for a long time, in the sense of like I should have peeled there, I should have peeled, I should have peeled. The flop came queen jack 9-7 with one diamond. So I flopped 2 overs, a gutter, and a backdoor diamond draw. And I wondered for so long if I would have jammed flop, if he would have folded. And I said,
Stop and go. Yeah.
and
He
I
wouldn't have
said,
folded.
no,
wouldn't have
he
folded.
said he would have.
No.
And I said, I need you to
Hmm.
lie to me and just say you would have never folded.
I'll tell you first off,
With
this
the
is a
gutter,
great
I feel
flop
like
to
you
stop
just
and go
can't.
jam on because first off, you have 2 overs, a gutter to the nutter, right? There's
Yeah.
Gutter to the nutter.
you got a gutter
Yeah,
to the nutter.
yeah, yeah.
And he might just fold like ace 5 off, maybe potentially, but I don't
Sure,
think
yeah.
there's a universe where he's folding eights. And
I
if
don't know. He said he would have, and then I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. I personally think he can't. Like when you said that,
But
my
he's like a
reaction was
really exploitative, like not studied player type guy, in the sense of like he just plays instinctually, like off feel and stuff. And I think like if he thinks I'm jamming there, I'm never worse than eights there, like ever. Like
yeah, I mean, but
and
if
from
he's
his perspective and the way he thinks about
yeah.
the game,
but he's
I don't know.
also chip leader, but I don't know how deep
Yeah.
he is at this
Well, I
point.
don't think he's like necessarily. Sorry, I don't think he's like chip leader, but he has chips at this point.
Okay.
And again, chip leader in this structure at this point was like only 35 big blinds.
Okay.
So, but anyway, that was one of the hands that stuck out to me because, and now I would have 100% just called, and not jammed there because of ICM. And plus, I still have enough chips to even get around the blinds. One more than one time. So even if I just got like another pay jump with like a half a big, would have been whatever.
That's an interesting
great.
spot though. That's
Yeah,
I mean
it
that's a super interesting spot.
It
for
was,
sure.
and I still think about that, but yeah, we'll get back there again.
Well, and even as someone who plays poker all the time, I find myself in these spots where I'm like, okay, I don't study 6 big like I know my shove fold ranges, but I don't know like okay, so we're in the big blind and we have 6 bigs. Like, what are
And there's a
we don't have
30K
fold
pay jump.
equity.
With this
Like,
exact pay jump situation, being 15 people away from a bracelet, being the shortest stack, with pay jumps looming, like I think after I busted, like 2 people busted, and I was like, oh my god, I should have just took more time, and I probably didn't because again, I had never been in that situation.
Yeah,
With
that's a
and
tough
like you
one.
could cut the air, the atmosphere with a knife. Like you could feel like there was maybe a handful of people who had been in that spot before, but like we are playing for so much money.
Yeah.
We're on the feature tables, right? Like just that, like, that's like every player's dream. And I was like sitting there and I'm just like, this isn't like my adrenaline was crazy. Like, anyway, that was for sure something I'll never forget.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's something that might help, that's something first off that will help you become a better player.
Of course.
It sucks. It sucks. I have a spot from an MSPT in 2016. It was my first MSPT final table. It was in 2016. It was at the Venetian. It was a 3.5 million guaranteed with a half a million up top.
Wow.
And there's a spot where I was in the cutoff with 11 big blinds, and it folded to me, and I had king queen off. And the ICM here is just insanely huge. There's 2 other stacks that were similar to me, and I was just kind of green. I didn't really have a lot of experience or studying. and I just stuffed king queen off here, and that might just seem standard at like in an earlier stage of the tournament, but in this spot, this could have been a great spot for me just to open to 2 big blinds and then potentially fold. I can't remember his name. He was the young buck who got heads up versus who was it? He got third when Jesse Sylvia got second, and Greg
Oh,
Larson won. What's his name?
I can
Anyways,
see
yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways,
Yeah.
he ended up having ace jack and calling off, and I'm like, this would be a good spot for me just to open to 2 bigs and fold. In ICM situation, you think that would be a good play there, Wes?
So you had how many blinds again and what
I had
position?
11 big blinds, and there was 2 similar stacks.
What position again?
I was in
Sorry.
cutoff.
Yeah.
I don't mind. The nice thing about jam though is you get to fold out some
Ace
ace
fives and
X
stuff
too.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like king queen is the sort of hand, like it's even getting called by ace jack is not a disaster, right?
Right.
I with my like I've certainly min raised it. I guess it also depends too if you think like there was a time I min raised at the Gladiator FT. I min raised queen jack off 11 bigs and folded to a jam. But you have to trust sort of that the players are going to give you information. Like my read was that the players were passive enough that
Yeah. Yeah.
me min raising wouldn't open myself up to getting blown off by a wide range of
That makes
hands
sense.
I
Yeah.
don't want to fold against. So I think in this spot, it's like if it's good players in the button and blinds, I like jamming more. Or you could put in, this is a more recent thing, but put in like 5 big blinds and then fold if they all go all
if
in.
there's if there's significant action behind me as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I like that one a lot as well.
Yeah. But if you're, and this guy clearly is a good player, but if they were all like passive players, I probably min raise and then get away if I get
Yeah, I
jammed.
agree. I think it really depends on who's on your left and how experienced and how many chips they have and stuff. But I think like king queen off specifically, like obviously we block a lot of good stuff, and I think that we can get away with like opening this to 2 big blinds and then considering folding to aggression, so or just winning the pot, which you could have. So unlucky
Yeah,
kind
why
of that
didn't
he
you hit
wakes
a
up and
king or a
he's
queen?
Yeah, I know.
That's
Just,
what
just a
dude,
punk.
we
I'm
can just
a
win
punk.
sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean? Both king, queen for both of us. Hers was suited. I prefer the suited variety. But
Yeah, I think like now I would have 100% flatted that hand there, in because I'm going to be peeling so many hands there and just hoping to like realize the equity of whatever I flop. But we'll learn and move on. And now I'm like way like, because even the guy at the time, he's like a multiple bracelet winner, good friend of mine. He was like kind of not backing, but like taking a lot of my action for the summer. And he was like, "Hey, did you ever think about just like flatting that?" And I was like, "Oh no, like I feel so bad, like that I could have like played this hand differently and either got away or just won the hand post." And it was obviously the biggest spot of my life. Yeah, it was like the biggest spot of my life. And I was like, oh, no, I just have to live with that. I did that. I just have to live with it. And honestly, it was a flip. So like whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Just win next time. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and I went so card dead. Like I went from being chip leader to just like not being able to play any hands and then having Joe Cat on my left. It was just like
the emotions we go through in those experiences can be so crazy. Like you can just be on top of the world to being in the dumps, and it's crazy. It's just actually insane.
It was my biggest score too, so that helped ease the pain. But also,
it still
like,
takes a little time though to get to let that go, right? It's a bittersweet thing.
I mean, 60,000 versus 1.1 million is crazy.
Before we start wrapping up, Ash, I want to ask you about your commentating career. You've been on WPT streams. You were telling us that you had done the WPT championship a couple years in a row. What is that experience like? I would love to do something like that. I'm just curious, like how fun is that? Is it difficult? Is there nerves? What's that like?
Yeah, so I kind of got asked to do it, I think 3 years ago now, to commentate the Prime and the ladies cash game stream at the WPT December win. And I'd never commentated before, but it was something that came so natural to me because of my vlog voiceovers. And I had no idea because like talking about strategy in the hands and like thinking about what the action is on the table, it was second nature, and I didn't realize it would be. And then got asked to do it again, thankfully, and then hopefully this year they'll ask me again. I know they have a lot of amazing people to choose from now, but it's funny, I would get stopped about, oh, I follow your vlog or I watch your vlog. Well, now I almost get stopped more about my commentary on the WPT main than my vlog, and that meant so much to me. Like I think it's one of my prouder moments in my career is to be able to say I've commentated and also just like got really, really amazing feedback, and to the point where like hopefully I can do it more. And it was something that I didn't know would be something I would do, and it became something really, really cool. And I would love to continue doing it in the future, and hopefully, we'll continue to be able to do it.
Is it safe to say that event, the 10K main, is the second biggest poker stage in the world next to the WSOP main?
Yeah, and I think that that's why it was so special that I even got to do it, and to not only do it, but then just have people say that they love my commentary, and it just blows me away. It just shocks me every time. And I'm really passionate about it now. I'm really passionate about it. And I really, really enjoy it. So
I'm excited to hear you. It's coming up. I hope they give you the opportunity.
I hope so. We'll see.
Are you going to the WPT?
Yes. Are you playing?
So right now I will probably be there. I was saying if they don't ask me to commentate this year, I may not go at all. It's expensive and but I love the ladies championship. I do want to play that. So right now I am planning on being there and playing the prime, or actually maybe just the ladies championship. And then I always try to Sati into the main. But if I don't, I probably won't be playing it. And also because I don't play it, they know I'm locked in to be able to do commentary because I'm not in the tournament.
That's
so,
that's nice as well.
yeah.
That's super cool. Wes, you want to go on with our question that we have for our guests?
Yeah. So we asked this to every guest. Ash, do you think poker is more of an art or a science?
Ooh, definitely. Instinct says art. I cook a lot. I love cooking. I just kind of started a cooking channel too, because why not put more things on my content plate?
Why
not? And while there is science in cooking, like you have to like pan sear the chicken with some flour on it to get a crispy crust. Like I also get to put whatever spices and flavors on it to make it taste as good as it does. And I think that that's like poker in a way. It's like, okay, I have to raise to like do this action, but then like what story am I going to tell post flop and on what board textures and stuff. And so I think it's more of an art, but you have the science in the background, but in the foreground, the story part, the creative part, and all that kind of, like we see all these guys like, back in the day where they would have piles of cash on the, $1 million cash game table and they're smoking cigars. Like that to me is like going back to the roots of what poker actually is, like crap talking, and all this stuff. Like actually the Run Good series I'm about to play next week, we have literally what's called a old school talk tournament where we actually get to talk about our hand, ask you what you have, like get to like say,
cool.
oh, hey, like I have pocket aces here. What do you have? Like finally get to go back to like what poker was. And that to me is art, right? Like you have these guys who make their living, like, I don't even want to give them I don't even want to put their names out there, but these guys who like are the extreme, like guys who just try to get under your skin, and it's totally just a game of like who's gonna lose their mind here because they're getting so annoyed. The psychology. But so definitely more of an art than a science to me, because
you just convinced me to go to a Run Good event, by the way.
Yes, please come. It's so fun.
Do they have that type of tournament at all the stops?
No, this is a new thing actually. So, but they have all kinds of fun ones. Like, that one is also a bounty tournament. So, like, if you knock me out, you can win up to $1,000. Just stuff like that. They also have tag team tournaments, which are so fun, where you swap out and you play separately, then combine stacks. I personally love that one. It's so fun. They have like a deep stack where like it's usually a 50K guarantee. So like you could play for 1.5 days days and win like 15 to 20 grand off of like a $250 buy-in. Like they're great. And the environments are so just going back to what poker's supposed to be, which is like a conversational, connecting type game where you're just there talking and having fun. So
I love that about poker. I love the conversation. And Wes and I, you find us at a poker table, like we'll be shooting the shit with everybody there, and it's just a good time.
Yeah, I'm such an introvert that I would like go to play back in my 1-2 cash game days, and I would put my headphones in, and that was just like my happy place of not talking to anybody. And now like feeling more of like an ambassador for the game and someone who like people want to play against sometimes, and they want to talk to me and stuff. It's like now I sit down and I really learn to enjoy that part of poker, where it's just like learning about people and listening to their stories. And I've made some amazing friends because of that. So it's a really special thing.
Isn't it funny how we grow as humans how poker grows us as humans just in general, like our social skills and all these other things.
It really is.
Yeah, it's wide reach. I mean, today we've compared poker to golf and cooking.
Yeah.
It can apply to so many areas in life.
Don't get me wrong though, also sometimes I do want to just sit down and not be bothered. And
of course, me too. And that's hard too sometimes, because I never want, like, I don't know, again, the people pleaser side in me is like, actually, do you know who Dan Lowry is? He just won his
we play with Dan. Wes has
okay. So like at first Dan thought I was like the biggest like B word on the planet, because apparently he tried to talk to me, but I had my noise canceling headphones in and he didn't know. So like apparently I was ignoring him when he was like trying to talk to me. Now he's like one of my like really good friends. He's like my big teddy bear, and I love Dan so much. But like it's so funny because like his perception of me at first was like, oh, this girl's too good to talk to me, like who is this chick? And it was because I just had no idea he was trying to talk to me. And so to this day, it's like I hope that people who either watch my vlog or know who I am don't have a terrible experience with me at the table. So like I try my best to be nice and cordial. And but sometimes I'm frustrated. Sometimes I'm going through a downswing and I just like, I don't want to talk, or like, but that's just being a human also. So
100%.
Yeah. Well, you should do it. You should do what Max and I do. We tell our listeners that, for a subscription of $50 a month, you are allowed to come up and talk to us on break.
Yeah. Oh man, the World Series is actually tough because like how crazy breaks are, where you barely get to use the bathroom and come back because of the lines and stuff. And it's like I'll need to get like I'll need to get food or film something for my vlog, and like people come up to me and it's like, but I'm so thankful, like I'm happy to do that, but it becomes kind of hard sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah, there's going to be, nothing is perfect, but
so obviously you're a vlogger and you're a professional poker player, and we're gonna make sure to check out the show notes, guys, because we're gonna put all of your socials and stuff in there for people to check you out and go check out your channel, subscribe, make sure to do all that stuff. But other than that, is there anything else you wanted to tell the people about, or any tips or advice you want to finalize things on here?
And tell us what's the next few months look like too.
Sure. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. So I think something I would just say in general is make sure you have balance outside of poker. Like if you're obsessed with it and it's all you do, you're going to ride the highs really, really high, but you're also going to ride the lows really low. So have a support system, have things you like to do outside of poker. For me, it's video games and cooking. Love both of those. They're huge passions of mine, which I also have a video game channel too. But
nice.
So but that keeps me grounded, so I can withstand the hard parts, because playing tournament poker is very, very hard. It's very taxing mentally and emotionally and physically as well, which we didn't even really get into that too. We could talk so much about that, but I would just say have balance outside of it. I think that's key to like sustain it long term as well. Like if you have like a boyfriend, a wife, a significant other, whoever, whatever, like spend time with your family, like spend time with the people you love and care about. Don't just like drown yourself in poker, because you'll become miserable.
100%.
And then what I've got going on is I'm going to Tunica Run Good. Then I'm probably going to be home. I'm really trying to work on getting my fitness back up. And I had some injuries, so I like lost a lot of my muscles. So I'm really trying to like get strong, feel good, so then I can play good, really, and just be healthy as a human overall. And then I'll be at WPT in December, and I think that's pretty much it for the foreseeable future. I'm sure things will come up. Actually, the Choctaw Main's coming up in a few days, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be out there for that or not. So
cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Wes will be out there at the Prime. Wes, make sure to say hi for me. I'll be in the Bahamas with my wife and
hell yeah.
playing one event out
Nice.
there. So, but
Fun.
yeah, definitely looking forward to ending the year strong and hopefully having an incredible next year. I mean, no matter what it will be, we get to live on. We get to play poker, we get to experience life. So
Exactly. Like
thankful.
we're so fortunate. And I guess the one thing I forgot to mention is I am doing one-on-one coaching. You can book on my website. And so if you're
Okay.
like a beginner, an intermediate player, or someone who just wants to like think about the game like from a fundamental foundational level and you want to just like learn from a different perspective, like check out my website, pokerfaceash.com, if you're interested in booking a session.
Pokerfaceash.com, you
Awesome.
said?
Yeah. Yeah.
We will make sure to put a link in that to that as
Cool.
well. So yeah, if you
Thank
guys
you.
are interested in some coaching, check her out. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be on today. It's been honestly incredible being able to chat with you and getting to learn about you and your poker career and your vlogging career. Hopefully, the gaming channel and the cooking channel go well as well. Go well also.
Yeah.
Wes, you want to go ahead and get off with the plugs here?
Yeah, we didn't do those earlier today, did we?
We did actually. We did.
We did.
Yeah.
By the way, I think Clubs accidentally put up a meetup game for us tonight, even though it's supposed to be next week.
Yeah.
Is that why you asked
Oh.
me? Anyways, so guys, if you enjoy playing poker, sign up for Clubs Poker in the link of this description. We run a meetup game, a $55, 55 sweepstakes, whatever, tournament on there every 2 weeks. If you want to see Max and I play as blasty and just as fishy as possible, this is the place we do it.
It's our
This
safe
is where
place to punt, Wes, all right?
It's our safe place to punt. If you want our money, this is the opportunity to take some of it.
I just want your money, Wes. That's it.
Yeah, well, the feeling's mutual, buddy.
Yeah. So make sure to check out Clubs Poker. Again, sign up using the link in the description to help support the pod. We greatly appreciate that. We also have our Patreon. If you guys are interested in joining the Patreon, Wes and I do videos. We drop videos weekly where, we break down hands. We will also do bonus episode content on there. So make sure to check all that out to help support the pod and the time we put into it.
We say weekly. Let's be honest, we have had a little downswing in terms of releasing Patreon
Well, we've been
videos.
traveling as well. Let's be real.
However,
there's 30 plus videos on there. If
about 50 actually.
But
So-
yeah, make sure to check that out. And then lastly, Tilted Compass. If you guys aren't familiar with Tilted Compass Apparel, they've been generous and have actually done a collab with us. So if you want to get some Suited Kings merch, make sure to check out Tilted Compass. You can pick up some of those sweet hoodies for the winter. They look great. They're comfortable. So make sure to check all that stuff out. Again, Ash, thanks so much for being here today. Looking forward to hopefully meeting you on the felt again someday. And I'll make sure to say hi when we do that.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome, and I really appreciate like the work you guys do and helping other people think about the game, get better, just talk strategy and stuff. I'm passionate about it, so I love it. You guys are doing great stuff, so I really appreciate y'all having me on.
Thank you. And by the way, Wes, you started off that Clubs plug by if you like poker. Well, I hope if they're listening to this podcast, they like poker.
I meant more like if you're looking to play some online poker, but yes, that probably goes without saying that.
All right. Well, guys, hope you both
maybe it's the sound of our voices. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. So.
Have a good night, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode.